Now, Nigerians abroad are vital to the country's cultural revival. Experts believe that by promoting Nigerian arts, music, and fashion globally, Nigerians in the diaspora will help in expanding the reach of the nation's heritage. This class of Nigerians also foster cultural exchanges and supports the preservation of historical sites, languages, and traditions. Through their professional networks, diaspora Nigerians are reshaping the global narrative of Nigeria, showcasing its vibrant culture. Their efforts ensure that Nigeria's cultural influence continues to grow both locally and internationally. Now, joining us to discuss the contributions of Nigerians in the diaspora to cultural renaissance is Prince John James Olomo, Mayegun of Odesan Town, Ile-Ife. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you for having me.
So I see the beads, and of course we know what that means in Nigeria and maybe Africa generally. So tell us what exactly brought you back to Africa from America?
Right, well, what brought me back to Nigeria is over the course of 7 years, I traced my roots to the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria. And after getting here, I met originally with the king of Shasha Kingdom in Lagos. I went through several rites of passage and ultimately was titled there as Prince of Shasha, and then later on as Mayegun in Ife. And that inspired me to create a DNA company called Tribal Tapestry, which allows African Americans and others in the diaspora to do what I did in 7 years, but to do it in 2 months, to find out the tribes they come from in Nigeria and all over Africa, and then culturally fully immerse themselves and integrate in their ancestral homelands.
Very good. So how do you hope to help African Americans discover their roots? Yes, you talk about the company, but is there a willingness from African Americans to actually do this? Yes, we've been inundated about news, people trying to trace their roots and all that, but
is the
euphoria, is it widespread? Is this something they are willing to do?
Yes, they're very excited about it. They're very willing to do it. Many of them want to come back home. The challenge is, where is home, right? And so that's where Tribal Tapestry comes in as a DNA company. Most DNA companies will say, you come from this region in Africa, Ghana, Sierra Leone, et cetera. Yeah. We're able to say, this is the tribe that you come from, right? And with that type of technology, it makes them more enthusiastic and excited to come home. But also, Nigeria and other countries have to open their arms and welcome them home as well.
Good. So now, covering that, you're a Yoruba man, although I know there's still a lot of, catching up you have to do, because I still hear a lot of the accent, even in pronouncing the Yoruba words.
Yes.
You can pay me anyways, I can do some trainings.
Deal.
But I'd like to know how it's going on, the learning of the culture, the food, and all of the cultural heritage in the Yoruba land.
Yes, it's going very well. Yoruba, did I get it right that time?
Yoruba.
Yes. It's a complex language because you can take one word and say it with 5 different tonal marks and it has 5 different meanings. But I enjoy it. It's an odyssey, it's a challenge. The spirituality is what I embrace the most. In fact, my Babalawo aligned me with my Ori, Obatala. And once that happened, everything fell into place in terms of my mission in life. Obatala, that energy deals with the creation of humans at their highest levels, right? And so with Tribal Tapestry, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
We're taking Africans in the diaspora and allowing them to step into the highest aspect of themselves through DNA.
Very good. Now, talking about cultural renaissance here, we have specifics. We have the Oshogbo Festival every now and then. I'm sure you've heard about that, being taken, they take place, I think, annually, every now and then here in Nigeria. And then you see quite a number of, African Americans and even people from Cuba, as far as Cuba and Brazil and all these other South American. So what does that tell you of the linkage of trying to, enhance cultural acceptance? Yes, it's a modern era, but still you have that culture still there, vibrant, and people are still tapping into it.
People are still tapping into it. When I talk to African Americans or Afro-British, right, they talk about the infrastructure in the US. But here in Africa and in Nigeria, we have infra culture, right? It's that soft power that brings people back home. It's that soft power, that infra culture that influences the diaspora through music and food and dance and clothing. I mean, right now, it's a trend in the US for white people to have weddings that are based in Yoruba-themed weddings.
Yeah.
You know, we never thought something like that would happen, you know? So there is a big push to come back. I was recently at the Ipata Carnival a couple of weeks ago, and thousands of diaspora are coming back home, you know? So it's the time is now.
So let's talk more about your DNA company. How does it work? Is it the same method as when it comes to getting the paternity of a child? What is the process? How does it work? How expensive? How affordable? Are people, warming up to it?
Yes, so we have 745,000 genetic markers in our database. So if someone were to take a DNA test, we can match them to which tribes they come from in Africa. I have a big focus on Nigeria because 30 to 50% of African Americans actually have Nigerian DNA. So we seek to eliminate this concept idea of African American and enable people to say, instead of saying, where do I come from? We want people to say, I know who I am. So we want those in the diaspora to be able to say, I'm Nigerian American. Even though I was born in the States, but I'm a Nigerian, or I'm from Ghana, or I'm Mende from Sierra Leone, or whatever the case may be.
Good, and it's always, having to know your roots to a large extent, it gives you that sense of belonging, as it were. Prince John James Olomo, unfortunately we don't have much time. We will have to wrap it up here. We'd like to thank you, for that enlightenment, and of course,
very
hopefully,
interesting one.
yes, people will key into this initiative. Good to have you with us.
Thank you so much. And the last thing is we are pushing for the Nigerian government to give dual citizenship based on DNA. So you guys will be hearing more about that soon.
Very good. We hope to
Look
see
forward
more
to
of you.
that.